The Galactic Council's undefeated combat champion hit the arena floor screaming. His primary combat appendage bent at an angle evolution never intended, and the human female was still standing in her starting position, looking confused. "Wait, did we start?" Emma Johnson asked, glancing between the writhing alien and the frozen mediator, "because I thought you were going to say, begin or something." According to YouTube analytics, 99.6% of viewers are not subscribed. That's a huge number. By subscribing the channel that is completely free, you'll help support the channel and never miss fresh content. Kaeldra, Council Mediator First Class, stared at her datapad like it had personally betrayed her. The diagnostic readout was clear. Champion Zilax's wrist structure had been compromised in 0.3 seconds, before his ceremonial opening strike had even reached its apex. The medical alert screaming across every screen in the diplomatic arena confirmed what her eyes refused to believe. "Emergency medical to Arena 1, Kaeldra heard herself saying, her voice distant. "Champion down. Repeat, champion down." The crowd of council delegates sat in perfect silence. 12 species, hundreds of representatives, all witnesses to the impossible. They'd gathered here today for a simple demonstration, to conclusively prove that humans, despite their alarming expansion into council space, posed no physical threat. The combat trials were supposed to be a formality, a scientific confirmation of what everyone already knew. Humans couldn't fight. They had no natural weapons, no armored hides, no combat enhancements. Their homeworld classification rated them as mid-tier persistence hunters at best. Every analysis, every simulation, every predictive model agreed. In unarmed combat, humans would rank somewhere between the Philesian poet caste and domesticated Vryn livestock. Emma watched the medical team swarm around the groaning champion. "Is he okay? He was coming at me really slowly, and I thought maybe I should—" "You moved during his preparation phase," Kaeldra interrupted, her head tendrils rigid with shock. "That's not possible. The ceremonial wind-up is universally recognized as—" "The giant glowing weak point," Emma finished. "Yeah, I teach 8-year-olds dodgeball. If someone telegraphs their throw like that, you're basically asking to get juked." She paused. "What's a preparation phase?" Kaeldra's datapad chirped. The instant replay had been processed. She pulled up the footage with trembling digits, and what she saw made her circulatory system run cold. Zilax had entered his combat stance perfectly. Feet planted, weight distributed, primary strike arm drawing back in the traditional war form that had dominated council combat trials for 3 centuries. The wind-up had been textbook, slow, powerful, telegraphed with the proper honor and respect for one's opponent. Emma had simply stepped inside his guard while he was winding up, grabbed his wrist with both hands and twisted. No ceremony, no warning, no honor protocol whatsoever, just brutal, instant efficiency. "She attacked during the preparation," someone shouted from the council seats. "Violation of combat law." "What preparation?" Emma called back. "He was just standing there doing some weird arm thing. I thought maybe that was his species' version of stretching." Kaeldra felt the foundational certainties of her existence beginning to crack. You don't signal your attacks?" "Signal?" Emma laughed. "Why would I warn someone I'm about to— Oh my God, is that what this is about? Do you guys actually announce when you're going to hit each other?" "All civilized species observe proper combat protocols," Kaeldra said, but her voice lacked conviction. "Combat is a demonstration of superiority through prescribed forms. It's how we establish hierarchy, settle disputes, select mates. You select mates by slowly winding up punches?" Emma's eyes were wide. "That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard, and I once watched a kid eat paste for 20 minutes straight." The medical team had stabilized Zilax and was transporting him out on a hovering stretcher. The champion's eyes met Emma's as he passed, filled with a mixture of pain and profound confusion. "I apologize for the confusion," Kaeldra said, trying to reassert control. "Clearly there has been a cultural misunderstanding. We will postpone the trials until—" No. Ginix rose from the champions section, his combat armor gleaming. I challenge the human. She caught Zilax off guard with her ignorance of protocol. I will not make the same mistake. Emma checked her phone. 2 missed calls from her principal. Look, I really appreciate the whole Galactic combat demonstration thing, but I'm supposed to be back at school by 3 p.m. We're doing the parent-teacher conferences for... You broke our champion's wrist in less than a second, Ginix said, stepping into the arena. You will grant me the honor of a true match. It's than, Emma muttered, less than a second. And sure, whatever, let's get this over with. She turned to Kaldra. Do I at least get to call my principal? Because Mr. Henderson is absolutely going to think I'm making this up. Kaldra was frantically reviewing the combat protocols on her datapad. Ginix, perhaps we should analyze the previous engagement before... I am ready, Ginix announced, taking his position. The human caught Zilax in a prepared stance. I will use the fluid form. No telegraphed movements, pure spontaneous combat. He looked at Emma. You will not find me so predictable. Emma shrugged. Okay, but seriously, when do we start? Because last time I just kind of guessed and apparently broke some cosmic rules or whatever. Begin, Kaldra said quickly. Ginix launched himself forward in what the council recognized as the most unpredictable attack form in their combat database, a flowing, adaptive strike that changed targets mid-movement based on opponent reaction. Emma sidestepped. Just sidestepped. Ginix's momentum carried him past her, and Emma casually stuck out her foot. The champion went down hard, his face impacting the arena wall with a resonant thud that echoed through the chamber. Oh shit, sorry, Emma rushed forward. Are you okay? I didn't mean to. I mean, you were running really fast and I just sort of... Ginix groaned from the floor, his combat stance abandoned in favor of cradling his facial sensors. The silence in the arena was absolute. Kaldra's datapad slipped from her nerveless fingers. Around the chamber, council delegates sat frozen, their various expressions of shock creating a tableau of universal disbelief. Okay, this is getting weird, Emma said, helping Ginix sit up. Are you actually trained fighters? Because I'm just a PE teacher from Ohio, and I've literally never been in a real fight in my life. You have no combat training? Kaldra whispered. I mean, I took a self-defense class in college, but that was mostly just learning to yell no really loud and run away. Emma looked around at the staring aliens. Why? Is that bad? You defeated 2 of our finest champions, Kaldra said slowly. With what you consider untrained reflexes? Defeated is a strong word. I just kind of moved. They were both coming at me really obviously, so Emma demonstrated a basic sidestep. You know, got out of the way? A new voice spoke from the council high seats. Mediator Kaldra, I am ordering an immediate suspension of these trials. Everyone turned. Council High Arbiter Vexthul stood at the railing, his ceremonial robes marking him as one of the most respected combat analysts in council history. High Arbiter, Kaldra said gratefully, your wisdom is wasted on this catastrophe. Vexthul descended the stairs to the arena floor, his eyes fixed on Emma. You are the human-designated Emma Johnson. That's me, Emma said, and before you challenge me or whatever, I really do need to be home by 3 p.m. Mrs. Patterson's kid has been having some behavioral issues, and I promised I will not fight you, Vexthul said flatly. The arena erupted in shocked murmurs. High Arbiter, surely you cannot, Kaldra began. I have reviewed the footage, Vexthul interrupted. All of it. Do you know what I saw? He gestured at Emma. A predator, not a warrior, not a combatant. A predator that moves on pure efficiency without a single wasted motion or telegraphed intent. Okay, predator is kind of harsh, Emma said. I literally taught kids how to play kickball this morning. Your species evolved as persistence hunters, Vexthul continued, ignoring her. You chased prey across vast distances until it collapsed from exhaustion. You had no venom, no claws, no natural weapons, so you learned to read movement, anticipate direction, and strike at moments of maximum vulnerability. He looked at the council. Every species in this chamber evolved combat as a social ritual, mate selection, hierarchy establishment, honor duels. We need our opponents to see our attacks coming. It's the entire point. Wait, Emma said, slowly. You're telling me that every alien species does the big wind-up thing because you're trying to show off? Combat is about demonstrating superiority, Kaldra said defensively. Not merely winning. Emma stared at her. Then she started laughing, not malicious laughter, but the genuine amusement of someone confronting absurdity. Oh my God, she gasped between laughs. Oh my God, you guys invited me here to prove humans can't fight, and it turns out you literally don't know how to fight. You just know how to, flex at each other really slowly. We have sophisticated combat traditions spanning millennia, Kaldra protested. You have dance traditions, Emma corrected, still grinning. Which is fine, nothing wrong with that. But that's not fighting. Fighting is, she paused, thinking. Fighting is what happens when a kid steals another kid's ball at recess and there's no teacher around. It's fast and mean and there's no warning. You just go. Vexthul nodded slowly. This is why your species concerns us. Because we're good at recess? Emma asked. Because you practice combat avoidance and counter movement as play, Vexthul said. You train your children in tactical unpredictability as entertainment. What you consider basic physical education, we recognize as advanced combat doctrine. Emma's smile faded as the implications sank in. Oh, that's why you wanted this trial? You thought we were secretly building some kind of warrior race? We thought you were weak, Kaldra admitted. Your physiology suggested it. No natural weapons, no armor, no combat enhancements. We believed you were trying to expand beyond your capabilities. She gestured at the medical team still treating Genix. We were incorrect. Super incorrect, Emma agreed. But also, can we talk about how this entire thing started? Because last I checked, Earth requested access to exactly one trade route, and you guys responded by demanding we prove we aren't dangerous? Kaldra's tendrils drooped. The Council was concerned about setting precedent. If we allowed an unproven species access to core routes, you'd look weak, Emma finished. So you needed to publicly demonstrate that humans aren't a threat. She looked around the arena. How's that working out? Emergency council session, someone called from the high seats. All delegates to report immediately. Wait, what about me? Emma asked. Can I go home now? Kaldra looked at Vexthul, who nodded. The human has more than proven her point. Emma Johnson, on behalf of the Galactic Council, I formally apologize for doubting your species' capabilities. Does that mean we get the trade route? Emma asked hopefully. I believe the Council will approve anything you request at this point, Vexthul said dryly. Provoking a species of persistence predators seems inadvisable. We're not that scary, Emma protested. Honestly, most humans would rather just order pizza and watch Netflix than fight anyone. What is Netflix? Kaldra asked. Entertainment streaming, TV shows, movies, that kind of thing. Vexthul and Kaldra exchanged glances. Your species watches recordings of other humans as entertainment? Vexthul asked carefully. Yeah. I mean, sometimes it's aliens too. We love alien movies. Independence Day, Alien, E.T. You create fictional scenarios of conflict with other species, Kaldra said, for pleasure. Well, yeah, but it's just... Emma stopped. Okay, I can see how that sounds weird from your perspective. We need to convene the council, Vexthul said firmly. Emma Johnson, you are free to return to your homeworld. We will contact Earth's delegation regarding the trade route approval. Just like that? Emma asked. I break two guys' bones and suddenly we get everything we wanted? You demonstrated that humans are significantly more capable than we believed, Kaldra said. Denying your trade request would be unwise. Because you think we'll fight you? Because we now understand we cannot afford to fight you, Vexthul corrected. Combat between our species would be catastrophic for us. Emma processed this. So I accidentally bullied you into giving us diplomatic concessions. You accidentally proved that every combat model we've built over the past 1,000 years is fundamentally flawed when facing your species, Vexthul said. Yes. Huh, Emma checked her phone again. Well, this has been super weird, but I really do need to get back. Mr. Henderson's going to kill me if I miss parent-teacher night. We will arrange immediate transport, Kaldra promised. She paused. Emma Johnson, would your species be interested in cultural exchange programs? Perhaps you could help us understand human combat philosophy better. You want me to teach aliens dodgeball? We want to ensure we never make this mistake again, Kaldra said honestly. Emma considered this. I'll talk to my principal. But fair warning, if you think I'm scary, wait until you meet the kindergarten teacher. Mrs. Rodriguez can shut down a food fight with one look. It's genuinely terrifying. We will keep that in mind, Vexthul said weakly. The transport arrangements took another 20 minutes, during which Emma found herself surrounded by nervous council delegates who very carefully maintained a respectful distance. She signed Zilax's medical discharge form. Apparently, council tradition required the victor to acknowledge the defeated champion's recovery, which seemed weirdly formal given that she'd accidentally broken his wrist. Hey, I really am sorry about that, Emma told Zilax as the medical team prepared him for discharge. I genuinely didn't know what I was doing. You are a natural warrior, Zilax said, his wrist now encased in a bioregenerative cast. It was an honor to face you, even in defeat. I'm a PE teacher who broke your wrist because I thought you were moving too slow, Emma corrected. But thanks, I guess. As she boarded the council shuttle that would take her back to Earth, Emma found herself holding a diplomatic gift basket filled with alien snacks and a formal treaty document granting humanity access to not just one but 3 major trade routes. So, she said to the shuttle pilot, a nervous-looking Felician, do you guys have coffee? Because this has been a really weird Tuesday. The pilot's ears flattened against his head. Human Emma, I must ask, when your species negotiates, do you always demonstrate combat superiority first? What? No, this was totally an accident. Emma paused. Wait, does the council think this was all planned? The High Arbiter has classified the entire engagement as calculated intimidation through apparent casualness, the pilot said. It is being studied as a masterwork of psychological warfare. Emma laughed so hard she nearly dropped her gift basket. Oh my God. You guys think I'm some kind of strategic genius? I was literally just trying not to get punched by the slow-motion alien. The pilot said nothing, which Emma decided was probably wise. She pulled out her phone and typed a message to Mr. Henderson. Broke a guy's wrist, might have started an interstellar incident, accidentally won major diplomatic concessions, home by 3, might need to discuss cultural exchange program. The response came immediately. Is this related to the PTA fundraiser? Because Mrs. Rodriguez needs confirmation numbers. Emma smiled. After accidentally intimidating an entire galactic government, dealing with the PTA actually seemed manageable. Hey, she said to the pilot. Totally random question. Do you guys ever have to deal with angry parents complaining about their kids' grades? The pilot's ears twitched. No? Why would that be relevant? Because if you think today was scary, Emma said, settling back in her seat, you should see what happens when Mrs. Patterson thinks her little Timmy deserves an A in gym class, despite him spending every period hiding in the equipment closet. The pilot made a note on his datapad, which Emma was fairly certain would become part of the Council's new Human Threat Assessment documentation. Perfect. As the shuttle accelerated toward Earth, Emma opened one of the alien snacks from her gift basket. It tasted like purple, which shouldn't have been possible but seemed appropriate for a day when she'd accidentally revolutionized galactic combat theory. Back on the council station, Kaeldra stood before the emergency assembly, her presentation titled, Revised Human Threat Assessment, Why We Can Never Fight Them, displayed on every screen. In summary, she concluded, humans practice combat on their children. They train tactical unpredictability as play. They evolved to chase prey until it died of exhaustion while simultaneously dodging counterattacks. They have no honor protocols, no telegraphed movements, and no combat signaling whatsoever. She paused. I recommend we approve every reasonable human request immediately and never, under any circumstances, challenge them to physical demonstrations again. The vote was unanimous. 3 weeks later, Emma received a formal invitation to speak at the Council's military academy about human approaches to conflict resolution. The pay was excellent, and they promised she'd be back in time for recess duty. She accepted, naturally. After all, someone had to teach the galaxy how to play dodgeball.